The California sun was setting behind the palm trees lining Rodeo Drive, casting a golden glow over the streets of Beverly Hills. Cameramen, reporters, and fans crowded the velvet-lined entrance of the Regency Grand, a hotel synonymous with Hollywood's elite. The red carpet shimmered under camera flashes, reflecting off designer dresses, diamond necklaces, and polished tuxedos. It was supposed to be one of the most prestigious charity galas of the year, a night where stars mingled for a good cause, where alliances were forged and reputations were burnished. But nobody expected what would happen next. A sleek black car pulled up. The crowd stirred. Out stepped Demi Moore, radiant, elegant, her silhouette unmistakable. She wore a floor-length midnight blue gown that hugged her figure perfectly, paired with silver stilettos and minimalist jewelry that accentuated her natural beauty. Her dark hair flowed in soft waves, framing a face both iconic and timeless. The murmurs turned into applause. Flashbulbs erupted like fireworks. Reporters angled their microphones toward her, eager for a soundbite. Demi walked confidently toward the entrance, offering a warm smile to the press. But as she reached the velvet rope, something unusual happened. A staff member, clipboard in hand, earpiece in place, stepped forward, blocking her path. "I'm sorry, ma'am," he said, his tone formal but firm. "Your name isn't on the list." For a moment, the world seemed to pause. Demi blinked, certain she had misheard. "I'm sorry, what?" she replied, maintaining her composure. "Your name," the staffer repeated, glancing at the clipboard, "is not here. Unfortunately, I can't let you in." Gasps rippled through the onlookers. Paparazzi, sensing something explosive, doubled their efforts, capturing every frame of this unexpected drama. Demi straightened her posture. "There must be a mistake. I've attended this gala for years. Check again." The staffer, now visibly uncomfortable, whispered something into his earpiece. Another employee approached, glanced at the list and shook his head subtly. "I'm really sorry, Miss Moore, but I have to follow protocol." People began whispering. Some guests inside peeked out the entrance, curious. Others pulled out their phones to record what was unfolding. It was humiliation, served ice-cold right on the red carpet. If you love dramatic Hollywood stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We bring you the juiciest behind-the-scenes stories every week. Hit that button so you never miss a moment. Demi took a deep breath. Her face remained calm, but her eyes betrayed a flicker of disbelief, mixed with disappointment. She wasn't just any celebrity. She was Demi Moore, a woman who had battled through the ruthless machine of Hollywood, conquered both blockbusters and personal demons, and emerged stronger every time. But even icons weren't immune to being slighted. Inside the venue, laughter and music floated through the air, oblivious to the storm brewing at the entrance. Not far from the commotion, another man was making his rounds inside. Bruce Willis. The die-hard star, known for his quick wit and cool demeanor, was moving effortlessly from table to table, shaking hands, exchanging jokes, and catching up with old friends. Despite their divorce years ago, Bruce and Demi had remained close, a rarity in Hollywood. They shared 3 daughters and a history deeper than most would ever understand. As Bruce laughed at a joke from a fellow actor, a whisper reached his ear. "Hey, did you hear? Demi's outside. They're not letting her in." His smile faltered. His eyes narrowed. "What?" he asked, setting down his glass. The whisperer nodded. "Yeah, something about her not being on the list." Bruce's jaw tightened. For a brief moment, he considered brushing it off. Maybe it was a misunderstanding that would resolve itself. But then, that familiar protective instinct kicked in. He excused himself from the conversation without another word and began striding toward the entrance, his face unreadable, but his purpose clear. Outside, the situation was quickly escalating. Reporters whispered among themselves, unsure whether to respect Demi's privacy or capitalize on the unfolding drama. Most predictably chose the latter. Cameras remained glued to her every move. Demi tried once more, her voice calm but firmer now. "I think you need to check again. This is a mistake." The event manager, a tall man in a sharp grey suit, stepped forward, offering a tight smile. "Miss Moore, I understand the confusion. Sometimes the guest list gets complicated. But I assure you, if your name isn't listed, there's unfortunately nothing we can do. Complicated, Demi echoed, crossing her arms. Is that the polite word for disrespect? A few gasps echoed through the crowd. Some guests whispered about recent industry tensions. Only weeks earlier, Demi had made headlines for speaking candidly in an interview about how Hollywood sidelines women over 50, a statement that ruffled more than a few feathers among the power players. Rumors had been swirling for months that one of the gala's co-chairs, a well-connected producer with a reputation for holding grudges, had taken offense. Could this snub be deliberate? As the tension simmered, a ripple moved through the crowd at the entrance. Heads turned. Someone was approaching, thigh fast. It was Bruce, his broad shoulders cut through the sea of onlookers like a ship through water. His expression was laser-focused, the usual casual charm replaced by something far sharper. Guests inside followed him with their eyes as he strode toward the velvet rope. Demi noticed him immediately. Their eyes met, hers filled with a mix of surprise and relief, his with something fierce, protective. "What's going on here?" Bruce demanded as he reached the checkpoint. The event manager straightened his tie. "Mr. Willis, good evening, nothing to worry about. Just a misunderstanding with the guest list." Bruce's eyes narrowed. "A misunderstanding." His voice was cool, but there was an unmistakable edge. "You're telling me Demi Moore, a guest of this event for over a decade, isn't on your list?" "We've checked," the staffer stammered. "Twice." "Well, check it a third time," Bruce snapped. "Or better yet, explain how you managed to lose the name of one of the most recognizable women in Hollywood." A few security guards shifted uncomfortably, unsure whether to intervene or stay out of the escalating conversation. The event manager raised his hands in a half apology, half surrender. "Mr. Willis, I promise this isn't personal. It's just a clerical issue." Bruce took a step closer. "Let me make something very clear. When someone treats Demi like this, it is personal." The tension was electric. Every phone was recording. Every reporter hung on the edge of the moment. Demi, ever composed, touched Bruce's arm lightly. "Bruce, it's okay, really." But it wasn't okay. Not to him. For a split second, Bruce hesitated. A voice in the back of his mind, the part that knew how Hollywood worked, whispered that maybe he should back down, smooth things over, avoid the headlines. But another voice, louder, drowned it out. The voice that remembered how Demi had stood by him through the chaos of their younger years, through fame, fortune, mistakes, and redemption. He squared his shoulders. "Are you seriously telling me that this event is too good for Demi Moore?" he asked loudly. Loud enough for the cameras, the reporters, and half of Beverly Hills to hear. The event manager opened his mouth, but Bruce cut him off before a single syllable could escape. "Because if that's how it is..." Bruce reached out, grabbed Demi's hand firmly. "Then it's too bad for me, too." With that, he turned on his heel, leading Demi away from the red carpet, past the stunned security guards, the gawking photographers, and the murmuring crowd. Together, hand in hand, they walked down the marble steps, heads high. The whispers turned into full-blown commentary. Phones captured every second. Someone shouted, "Bruce, you're a legend," as the couple disappeared into the night. As Bruce and Demi walked away from the velvet rope, the energy outside the venue shifted dramatically. What had started as a minor incident had just turned into a full-scale Hollywood moment, one destined to go viral before the night was over. Reporters scrambled to reposition themselves, barking into their microphones. "You're witnessing it live, folks. Bruce Willis just walked out of the event, hand in hand with Demi Moore after she was refused entry. Unbelievable." Onlookers who had once whispered now spoke openly, their voices carrying over the hum of the city. "Did that really just happen?" one guest muttered, eyes wide. Back inside the venue, murmurs spread like wildfire. Conversations halted mid-sentence as guests pulled out their phones, scrolling through breaking posts already hitting Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Footage of Bruce's declaration, "If this event is too good for Demi Moore, it's too bad for me, too. We're out," was being uploaded in real time. Outside, Demi gave Bruce a sideways glance as they continued walking toward the valet. Her lips twitched into the faintest smile. "You didn't have to do that," she said, voice low but warm. "Yeah, I did," Bruce replied without hesitation. Some things don't change. A cluster of paparazzi jogged alongside them. "Bruce! Demi! How does it feel?" "Bruce, do you regret walking out?" Bruce turned briefly, flashing his signature half-smirk, this time tinged with defiance. "Nope," he shot back. "Not even a little." His comment was met with a mix of laughter, cheers, and more camera flashes. Meanwhile, back at the entrance, the event staff scrambled. The event manager frantically spoke into his earpiece. "We've got a situation," he hissed. "A big one," another voice crackled back, filled with panic. "Is it true? Did Bruce Willis really just leave?" "Yeah," the manager muttered, wiping sweat from his brow. "And everyone's recording it." At that moment, several A-list guests inside the gala checked their feeds, and their expressions shifted. Some, visibly uncomfortable, whispered to their companions. Others furrowed their brows in frustration at the event organizers. "Did you see what just happened out there?" an actress muttered to her date. "This is going to blow up." And blow up it did. Within minutes, hashtags like Bruce and Demi, Hollywood snub, and Stand with Demi were trending worldwide. Clips of Bruce's line were being edited into TikToks, memes, and GIFs. Users flooded comment sections. "This is why Bruce Willis is a legend. Demi Moore deserves better, period." A masterclass in loyalty. Even those unfamiliar with the details jumped into the conversation, adding fuel to the fire. Across Los Angeles, phones buzzed with notifications. Entertainment reporters rushed to write their pieces. Morning show producers began adjusting their scripts for the next day. At a popular late-night show studio, a writer looked up from his laptop. "We're bumping the musical guest. This story's going front and center." Meanwhile, Bruce and Demi reached their car. The valet, clearly aware of the scene unfolding, hurried to open the doors with an awkward smile. "Mr. Willis, Ms. Moore, big fan." Bruce handed him a generous tip. "Thanks, buddy," he replied, still keeping Demi's hand in his. As the car pulled away from the curb, Demi glanced over, shaking her head slightly. "I still can't believe you did that," Bruce chuckled, leaning back against the leather seat. "Well, Dee, you should know by now. You don't mess with my people." They exchanged a look, part amusement, part nostalgia, part unspoken gratitude. Despite everything, years, divorces, new partners, new lives, some bonds were simply unbreakable. Neither of them knew it yet, but the headlines in the morning would be all about them. By the time Bruce and Demi's car merged onto Sunset Boulevard, the internet had already exploded. Social media feeds were flooded with videos from dozens of angles. Some captured the exact moment Bruce declared, "If this event is too good for Demi Moore, it's too bad for me too. We're out." Others zoomed in on the stunned faces of the event staff as Bruce took Demi's hand and walked away. Within an hour, TMZ had posted the footage under the headline, "Bruce Willis defends Demi Moore after gala snub, a Hollywood power move." Entertainment Tonight followed with, "Bruce and Demi, divorced but never divided." Twitter was a wildfire of opinions. Most users hailed Bruce as a class act. Comments poured in, "Bruce Willis showing the world what real loyalty looks like." "Demi Moore handled that with more grace than I ever could. Absolute queen." Ageism, misogyny, and pettiness exposed in real time. Not everyone agreed. A handful of defenders tried to excuse the gala organizers, suggesting it was a simple oversight or a clerical error, but that narrative didn't hold. The sheer number of videos, the tone of the event manager's words, and the pattern of similar exclusions in the past made it hard to swallow. By midnight, A-list celebrities started weighing in. Jessica Chastain posted, "There's no excuse for this. Demi Moore is a legend, period." Jamie Lee Curtis tweeted, "Bravo, Bruce. This is how you show up for someone." Even Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson chimed in with, "Respect 100%, followed by a string of fist bump emojis. Meanwhile, inside the now infamous gala, the mood shifted from glitzy to awkward. Conversations that once buzzed with Hollywood gossip now revolved around one topic only. The event organizers scrambled to put out the fire. A spokesperson quickly drafted a statement. There was a regrettable miscommunication regarding our guest list. We have the utmost respect for Ms. Moore and sincerely apologize for any inconvenience caused. But the damage was done. News outlets dissected the incident from every angle. Morning talk shows opened with the story, skipping politics and weather entirely. One host summed it up perfectly. A lesson to anyone hosting a Hollywood event: never ever underestimate the power of Bruce Willis with a purpose. Beyond the headlines, the conversation began to evolve into something bigger. Ageism in Hollywood, long an undercurrent, surged into the mainstream spotlight. Commentators pointed out how female stars over 50, no matter how iconic, often faced marginalization that their male counterparts rarely experienced. Panel discussions popped up across networks. Feminist commentators, industry insiders, and even former executives weighed in. What started as a snub quickly transformed into a cultural moment. Back at Demi's house the next morning, the two sat on her sunny patio sipping coffee. Paparazzi camped outside the gates and a drone buzzed somewhere overhead, but neither seemed particularly bothered. Demi scrolled through her phone, laughing. "Look at this," she said, showing Bruce a meme of his face superimposed on Captain America's body with the caption, "Bruce Willis, Defender of Queens." Bruce chuckled, shaking his head. "I didn't think standing up for someone was going to turn me into an internet superhero." "Apparently it did," she replied, setting the phone down. Her expression softened. "Bruce, thank you." "I mean it," he shrugged, giving her that classic half smile. "Come on, Dee. You didn't think I was going to let them treat you like that, did you?" She smiled, looking out at the sprawling Los Angeles skyline. "No, I guess I didn't." What neither of them said aloud, but both understood, was that this wasn't just about the gala. It was about a lifetime of history, of raising 3 daughters together, of weathering storms no one else could fully comprehend. And whether the world knew it or not, this moment would become one of the most iconic reminders that family, however it's defined, always comes first. In the days following the incident, the story refused to die down. News outlets kept replaying the footage. Late-night hosts cracked jokes, mostly in support of Demi and Bruce, and countless think pieces flooded the internet. The gala organizers attempted a second round of damage control, releasing a polished video apology. The spokesperson stood against a neutral backdrop, solemnly stating, "We regret the unfortunate misunderstanding that occurred at our recent event. Ms. Moore is an esteemed member of the entertainment community, and we deeply apologize." But the internet wasn't buying it. Comment sections filled with comments like, "Too little, too late." You didn't apologize because you were sorry. You apologized because you got caught. Let's not pretend this was a misunderstanding. Sponsors of the event began distancing themselves quietly. A few even issued their own statements, emphasizing their commitment to inclusivity and respect. Behind the scenes, future invitees started pulling out of upcoming events, hosted by the same organizers. Meanwhile, Bruce and Demi found themselves in an unexpected position, not just trending but celebrated. News anchors referred to them as the Hollywood example of how to navigate friendship, divorce, and loyalty with grace. A wave of appreciation flooded social media. Fans praised Bruce for being a real-life example of how men should stand by the women in their lives, even after separation. Others hailed Demi for maintaining her dignity and composure under pressure. Demi received an outpouring of messages from women across the globe, many sharing personal stories of feeling overlooked, dismissed, or sidelined as they aged. Her inbox overflowed with thank yous from strangers who saw her as a symbol of resilience. In an exclusive interview days later, Demi reflected on the moment with remarkable poise. Sitting comfortably across from a journalist, she said, "It wasn't about not being let into a party, it was about something bigger, a reminder that respect isn't always automatic, no matter how long you've been in the game, but you learn who truly stands with you." The journalist leaned in. "And Bruce?" Demi smiled warmly. "Bruce has always been family. We've raised 3 incredible daughters together. That bond, It doesn't go away just because a marriage ends. When asked whether the incident had changed anything for her, she paused thoughtfully. You know, I think it reminded me, and maybe reminded a lot of people, that standing up for yourself doesn't always mean raising your voice. Sometimes it's just refusing to lower your worth. As for Bruce, when cornered by a reporter while grabbing coffee, he laughed off the attention. Look, I didn't do anything special. I did what anyone should do. You stand by the people you care about. Simple as that. The reporter pushed further, asking if he realized how viral his words had gone. Bruce grinned. Yeah, well, I guess Die Hard's not the only action I'm known for anymore. The clip went viral instantly. As the weeks rolled on, the conversation expanded beyond Demi and Bruce. Hollywood found itself facing tough questions about ageism, about respect, and about how quickly the industry sidelines women once they cross an invisible line of age or relevance. But one thing was certain. Bruce Willis and Demi Moore had, once again, proven that their story, whatever form it takes, is one of the most enduring and beloved narratives in Hollywood. If you loved this story, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more incredible Hollywood moments. And don't forget to click the video on your screen right now for another jaw-dropping celebrity story that will leave you speechless.